Hey gang, in this video, we'll go over how to group date fields in Salesforce reports. For this example, say we have an opportunities report and our teams are pretty good at updating the close date. You may want to report on closed opportunities over time based on the close date, but in specific increments, like weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually. This is a new report, so as a first step, let's make sure my report is only pulling closed opportunities. We'll set the filter to only show what's closed. When you're in a tabular report, aka no groupings yet, the first step is to add your date field to the row grouping section. Once you've done that, click the tiny arrow next to the field to expose the options for that field. You should see the option to group your dates. So if you hover your mouse here, that will show you all of the options available for how to group that date column. So let's say we want to see this data on an annual basis. I'll choose the calendar year. So now when we save and run our report, we can see that the data is showing on an annual basis. So anytime you have a date field that you want to group in a report by a specific increment, remember to 1, group your report based on that field, and 2, set how you'd like those dates to be grouped. As you've just seen, you can group dates for row groupings, but you can also do them for column groupings. To expose the column grouping option, you first need to assign a row grouping to the report. In this case, I'll use the lead source. Then simply add your date field to your column grouping and do the same thing like we did before. Okay, looks good. Okay, gang, so one of the things you may find a little annoying about this feature is that as of this video, you can't really feature duplicate fields in a report. See how I have the close date column grouped up here? I can't add that same exact field anywhere else in the report layout, like a column grouping or as a detail column, without that first row grouping completely disappearing. Now, because Salesforce knows that the close date field is super important to its customers, they actually provide a second close date field specifically for use in opportunity reports. This isn't a field you'll see anywhere else on your opportunity record layouts or even in Salesforce setup. It's just meant to be a second option for including in your reports. Also, fun fact, this is the first time I'm realizing that this field even exists, which is super great. But what about if you're using a field that doesn't come with its own duplicate? For example, I now want to see opportunities created per calendar year. Once I create that grouping, I'm not able to include the actual created date as a column in my report. See how my created date field just disappeared from my row grouping? The good news is we've got a workaround. You can use a row level formula to basically duplicate that date field. So click the little arrow button in the column section of your outline pane and click Add Row Level Formula. Let's give our formula a name and select the correct format. If I choose the opportunities created date as my formula's input, then the formula column will return that date. There's my second created date column. Let's save and run. Ignoring the fact that I did not correctly rename my report, you can see that we now have a report grouped by the year that the opportunity was created, as well as including the actual specific date for that creation. And that's a wrap, gang. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And for more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Thanks.